I know.
We are live. Welcome to NHL Puck Props with 14-year NHL vet not wearing an undershirt, Carlo Colaiacovo. Oh, yeah. Presented by Sports Interaction. Good day to you, sir. Wednesday. I lost a butt ton of money yesterday betting against Columbus and betting against
What did I tell you last week? I said to you last week when we did our last show on Friday,
you're a handsome 40-year-old man. I think that was the last thing you said.
Week, stay away from heavy favorites.
I need San Jose got a shutout and Columbus got a shutout in the same day.
You should have put that in a parlay. Where were you on that one?
I should have faded everything I did. Won a little money on the old blackjack, and I thought I could roll it into some point parlays. Yeah, big and there. But as everybody there in the chat, good day to you guys too. Josh D, Bobby, Frank. Let's go. I think you're onto something here. Unders everywhere.
Yes.
What an absolute mail-in job from everybody. Each game had one regulation goal in the third period that wasn't like an empty netter. It was
dude,
ugly.
I'm telling you, man. The mindset.
Uh-oh. Have we lost him or is it me? I don't know which of the connection is. I'll pretend it's him. Oh, there he is.
The same conversation that I had with a referee in one of my games that I played where I skated up to the referee and I said,
was it Tim Peel?
And it was basically, hey, man, no whistles today. Keep the clock running. Let's get this game flowing as fast as we can. Let's just get a quick result and let's everybody get out of here safe, healthy, and enjoying their breaks.
Yeah, these guys playing today, their next game is, I believe, like February 10th. Like, there's some long break coming up. Yeah, like
guys that are playing this game tonight are waking up this morning and they're saying, oh, man, I just can't wait to fast forward to tomorrow. I want to get through this game unscathed, feeling healthy so that I can enjoy my break. Nobody wants any whistles in these games tonight. None.
One.
The only guys you feel bad for are goaltenders.
In the late game last night.
You feel bad for goaltenders because goaltenders are like, man, if I mail it in, I could really lose my spot. So they are the ones that show up to play.
Thank you, Elvis Merce-Lincolns and Mackenzie Blackwood with the shutouts last night. Ottawa, Detroit, under 7, minus 127. 5 point minus 130. All odds coming, Sports Interaction. The break is here, and it's time for running clock. If you've never played hockey, or if you're like me and you played when you were 13, you know what running time is because they don't want you chumps on the ice for any longer. Running time just means that clock don't stop. And basically that's what we're getting in the NHL. Quick whistles, not a lot of whistles, just keep going, not a lot of penalties. Like I said, one minor penalty called in that second game last night. 2 regulation goals basically scored. Yes, it's Ottawa and Detroit. That's the issue. That's priced in here. That's why we're getting a 7. What's not priced in is probably the fact that we're going to get mailed in issues. Detroit 3-7 to the under over their last while. When you're playing good hockey, guess what? Usually play under hockey. Detroit hasn't.
Yeah, you get good goaltending too. Alex Lyon, the Lion King.
So we're not in a bad situation. So this is a question that I pretty much know the answer to, Carlo. Were the results last night a surprise to you, or is that what it kind of is at this time of the year?
No, not a surprise to me at all. I mean, really the only over game we've seen is the Monday night game that Nashville took a 3-0 lead in the first period, and Ottawa came back and made it 7. So I'm not surprised. If anything, you sent me a message this morning. What do I like? I said underdogs and the unders because those have been the more favorable plays.
Yeah, and now I'm going to contradict absolutely everything with the next play, but it's price based and it's opportunity.
Yeah,
it's Jake Sanderson for a point at plus 130. Okay, the guy plays 24, 25, 26 minutes a night. He's 21 years old. I don't think he's old enough to know that he can mail it in right now. You know what I mean? Like when you're a vet, you kind of know your spots. That's not really that much into the handicap, but this is a guy who jumps up to PP1. I'll take any guy PP1 for a point at plus 130, especially in a game with a total of 7. I don't mind hitting a point in this spot that contradicts the under because it's plus 130 and the total is 7. It gives us a little room. 15 points, last 34 games. and like kind of not on a question like this, but like when we started the season, we were high on teams like Buffalo, teams like Ottawa. How is a team like Ottawa, and Andy was talking about it on his show the other day, how is a team like Ottawa that has Thomas Chabot, Jacob Chychrun, and Sanderson in their back end, which is an absolute awesome core of blue liners, and then like a loaded forward group that has Vladimir Tarasenko on the third line. How is this team not winning?
Yeah, it's a great question. I asked myself that question after Monday's game. I'm like, how is Ottawa 28th in the league in the standings right now with this type of talent? Well, you watch this team play all year. They've been getting very suspect goaltending. That's been an issue. Their defense has been in shambles.
Is it more system than goaltending, though?
It definitely is system, but it's also mentality. This is a very fragile group that just doesn't know how to play a smart brand of hockey. They make way too many mistakes. And because they're young, I mean, who's really there guiding them, right? And you hear the message coming out of new management with Staios and Poulin is we want to bring in older guys, veteran guys that can play and process the game, the 200-foot game. Well, what does that say to you? It says that we don't trust the guys that we have to make the smart decisions defensively. And because of that, like I've been doing a bunch of their games. The games that I've been doing, it's one mistake that leads to a second mistake, that leads to a third mistake, that leads to the back of the net. Like that's how bad and broken this team is structurally.
We're seeing it in basketball, especially with like the Charlotte Hornets losing down 26, laughing on the bench. In hockey, does losing creep into the locker room and can be an issue?
Well, that's why you're finding it so hard for some of these teams to rebuild and to be playoff team. Look how long it's taken to Buffalo. They've gone through 2 full rebuilds.
I thought we were going to get away with that.
Well, no, I mean, look how long it's been. They've gone through 2 full rebuilds, and they just don't know how to win because there's that feeling of just understanding or knowing what losing feels like, right? And it's tough to change in a 32 team league that has so much parity in it. So, but it's a mindset. It's an absolute mindset.
Yeah, me coaching the young kids the other day, last night, little coach speech. Anybody do any losing this week? Let's talk about losing. But losing's like, I don't know, like you can't win without knowing how to lose, but like making that step from being a loser to a winner is tough. And you're seeing it with Ottawa that just can't make that step despite the talent. But let's go. Sanderson, good spot, plus 130. Fantastic price there in a game with a total of 7, despite liking the under 7. Good price there. Kings, Preds, under 6, minus 115.
Yeah.
Aaron Korolnik doesn't know what he's talking about.
He's on the
over. He's on the over, but we're on the under here. Combined, these two teams are 8-12 to the under in their last 10. Both teams have been profitable to the under on the season. Before that 4-3 loss to Ottawa, where they're up 3-0 and couldn't hold the fort, Nashville was on a 7-0 run to the under, which included 5 games with a total of 6 or 5.5. The Kings' offense dried up, just kind of, we'll refer to as limping to the finish line. 2.41 goals per game from the Kings, ranks 29th, ahead of only Chicago, San Jose, and Washington. Both teams are off after this game, Carlo.
Yeah.
Would LA have plans, maybe a night in Nashville? Like, I mean, you're in Nashville and you're on a break. You might as well enjoy Nashville for a night. So there's maybe something there. But would they leave right from Nashville, like on vacation? Would you set up your travel plans on the away game, or would you go back home, get ready? Like, let's say you're a single guy, like you don't got to go drag the family out.
Well, 2 things. One, it depends on how many days they get on this break and how you try to maximize the amount of break time you get. And 2 is where you decide to go. Like if geographically, if you're going to a destination that's closer to Nashville, well then you'll fly your significant other into Nashville, stay the night after the game in Nashville, and fly from there because it makes more sense to do so.
That's a fun time. But that's a fun trip, man. Like, you know what I mean? You're probably not thinking about the hockey.
It is. But then, most people go to sunny destinations, right? So that's probably closer to California or, depending on if they go to Florida or whatever it is. So it all depends on their travel destinations. But ultimately, what guys don't want to get caught doing is getting caught thinking about where they're going to be after the game instead of worrying about what they need to do for the game. So it's been a tough go in LA. There's no hiding it. I mean, this has been one of the biggest collapses of the season that we're seeing LA go through right now, who at the beginning of the year started with 11 straight road wins. And people were saying, don't sleep on the Kings. They're one of the best teams in hockey. And now there's all this talk about Pierre-Luc Dubois and, what we're getting out of him and some of the struggles and where his position is on the team. But I think the biggest thing that has played a factor in this LA Kings season has been their goaltending. Their goaltending between Copley and Talbot was the best tandem in the league for the first 2 months of the season. Copley gets hurt. He's lost for the rest of the season. And Talbot has been had to carry more of the load, and he's coming back down to earth, right? He's at a regression. So you combine that type of goaltending with the struggles that the LA Kings are having. I mean, they're 2-8 in their last 10. Including
3-14 since Christmas.
3-14 since Christmas.
That's hard to do.
Right. And losers of their last 4. So is the message from the coach saying, look, guys, as bad as things are, let's try to get to the break on a winning note so that we know what it feels like going in and it's a better, feeling that we can have on this off time? Yeah, but Nashville's there saying the same thing. So if I was to pick a team in this one, I'd side with Nashville. 1, because they're home, and 2, they're not as fragile or broken as the LA Kings are.
Yeah, the 1-8 on the road since Christmas, the LA Kings, and I'm done. Like, we're like 3 weeks with every talking point saying, yep, this is it. This is the gut check game for the Kings. They need this one.
Right.
If I have to hear that one more time, I just keep talking like that.
We said that last week when they were in Colorado, remember?
No,
when Doughty called out the boys.
There was every game, it seems. There's Biz talking about, this is it too. Like every media member is talking about it. And you're like, guess what, guys? That boat's shipped or whatever. Yeah. Like, it's done. Like, these guys are in 1 month away basically for the trade deadline, and like they're gonna have to make some serious changes within that locker room. But under 6 here, -115. That's what we're playing. Jumping over to the chat. Adam Reckham's in the chat. Appreciate you as always. Neil Green too. Good morning. And something that we never say here that we probably should, that the producer always says, do us a favor, hit that like and subscribe button. It goes a long way. Yeah, that should be part of the thing. But I put Ridley Gregg on the top line. Sorry, Adam. Nope. He goes on the 4th line. That's where he is right now. Not right now. As long as Talbot is starting, I like the under. Kings need a goalie at the deadline for sure. Like Talbot's, I don't know, not a bad 1B. Let's say the system's there, but like that's not a guy you want to play 8 games in a row. Like Dave Riddick is, I don't know. No.
So is it confirmed Talbot? Well, I guess there is no confirmation of who's starting tonight yet, but either or, like I said, I'm not looking at a lot of goals being scored in any of these games. So if I was to favor anything, it's favoring the unders hard in these 3 games tonight.
Nashville, the even money dog in that game.
I like that too.
There you go.
Yeah.
What do you like about Pierre-Luc Dubois playing 11 minutes a game?
I love everything about his prop total that we're focusing on, but I don't feel for him one bit. I mean, this is a guy.
That was my next question. No sympathy. Like no sympathy.
Zero. Why? Why would you feel sympathy for a guy that has acted the way that he's acted to find himself in better situations, and then when he gets the best situation possible, he's dragging his feet? Like, I don't feel sympathy for a guy's got $64 million.
It is the difference between hockey and other sports, though, right? Like, hockey players don't have sympathy for guys that do that, whereas in, say, like the NBA, where you can play and like, hey, welcome to the team, let's win. No, it's definitely
Hey, man, we expect a lot out of you. You're supposed to be one of our go-to players, and you're not playing up to it. So I don't know that. And to be honest with you, this becomes an issue in the room too, with the players, where when there's an expectation of the group because of the players that, put a label on who this group should be, and you don't have one of those players playing to that expectation. I mean, believe me, there's a lot of conversations going on at lunches, at dinners, at
group chats that he's not involved in.
And that could be a reason as to why this team is struggling the way that it is too, because it's up to him to know that these things are being said about him and to go out and do something about it. And I don't know what his practice habits are like. I don't know how he's played in the last couple of games. These are late games. I don't stay up to watch, but all you got to do is look at the production, and the production is not even close to where it needs to be for this team, knowing that he's a guy that's expected to bring more.
This is something I don't usually throw in the handicap. I believe he's not married. But I think he has.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
So I don't know. I do think like the break is like if you're married and you have kids and stuff, it's kind of like, okay, let's
separate, get some family time, take your mind away from the stresses of hockey. Yeah.
But if you're not, your mind's probably more on hitting the beaches. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's the way
How many margaritas and pina coladas? I'd be thinking.
Yeah. All right, but no, we're on the under 1.5 shots here, plus 135. It's obviously playing the 1.5s is a different breed of sweat, and it's not one that we get a lot. But 11 minutes, 15 minutes, and 13 minutes in his last 3 games. He's 7-5 to the under in his last 12 games on this prop. He's playing third line, PP2, and he sits 10th on the team in shots on goal per 60, which is way down the list. And now that his numbers and his time on ice is falling, that's really not contributing. That's what we got for Dubois, who is just not the right fit, and he's starting to be the scapegoat in a team that can't win after one of the hottest starts, and they don't know when it's going to end. And they fired a lot of shots in that Kings locker room, and there's not much more to
not much more they can do, right?
No, that's the problem with shots. You only get so many, and I think they've kind of ripped it up. But what's everybody there in the chat? We got some issues. How does that get fixed? I believe that was probably in reference to mental toughness. I don't know. That could have been Ottawa too, as I go there. This is a perfect example of betting on a player long-term. Scariest thing I do in this spot is reading this before I reread it, right? So I'm like in the middle of it, and Josh, you smell like farts. What?
Yeah. Ron Burgundy?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. The Kings gave up on Gabe Vilardi's back injury for a chance for their team to better now, and it's kicking them exactly. Like the Gabe Vilardi move looks bad. Like, look what happened to the Jets when Connor went down and they gave Gabe Vilardi a little more run, and that team just took off, and now one of the betting favorites to win the cup. Afternoon, fellas. Good day to Tyler. No value on the Detroit, Ottawa, GIFT, goal in first 10 or first period over 1.5. There's your acronym of the day. I believe it's yes, it's an acronym. If we say it as a gift, the goal in the first 10 minutes. You ever bet those, Carlo? Goal in first 10 minutes? No. It's a lovely world when you're betting that. But
I'm slowly trying to convince myself not to follow your lead and bet afternoon Turkish soccer too.
Bro, there's no Turkish soccer today. Today we have to move and look at Belgium. We're playing some Belgium games at 12:45. We got some national games in Germany, but other than that, that's it's a sad day when I wake up and I don't see Super League games at 9:00. I don't know what I'm going to do between these hours. It is an absolute
Well, we got a long couple hours before the nightcap.
God, I don't even want to think about it. Like it's like 10 hours to this first action. Just going to be the end. Get the sweats over fast. Hey, we're on unders today. There is no getting sweats on under fast here today for NHL puck props. Brought to you by Sports Interaction. We are all day sweating if we're on the unders, but that's what we are. Noticing a lot of defensemen shooting more these past few games. Low danger shots mean more unders. More defensemen getting shots on net. They're of the low danger variety. And like you said, low danger variety means fewer expected.
Good point, Adam.
Yeah, Adam Redcamp is all over things, and he is everywhere, but do appreciate him always chiming in. Appreciate everybody there in the chat. Sniffers in the house, as always. Carlo, thank you. Wednesday. Tomorrow, I do want to spend a little time going over some all-star stuff.
Sure, let's do it. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, let's do that. Maybe give it a little all-star action because the format's changed. Teams are picking. We don't know who gets the first pick, right? Or do
No. Okay. It's at the draft tomorrow night, right? So
the 4 guys, there'll be a lottery for who gets first pick.
Correct, yes.
Okay. And Sidney Crosby is somehow plus 700. And if Nate McKinnon wins, I don't see how he doesn't take Sidney Crosby first.
Right. And if Austin Matthews and Morgan Riley win, are they taking Nylander or are they taking Marner?
Nylander's the favorite, to go
I know,
first.
But think about it. If Bieber is their celebrity coach,
it's Marner.
It's Marner, right?
Yeah.
So
no,
that's the fascinating thing about we have to know who who gets the first overall pick. I think you can probably align the dots or connect the dots once you know who has the first overall pick, but we don't know that yet. So
there's a lot of team stuff like the Pettersson team, right? There's JT Miller.
Yeah.
Like
Demko.
Exactly, right? There's a lot there. It's obviously priced into the fact, but I wouldn't be afraid to get on a little plus 700 Nova Scotia to Nova Scotia with McKinnon. 25% chance McKinnon gets the first overall. I'm leaning on Sid, but we'll look into it. We'll also look into possibly the hardest shot and the fastest skater, and the accuracy, which I don't think that there's any edge to betting unless you're just betting like you might as well just take some dogs. Just because,
take the value. Don't take the favorites.
All right, let's do a quick recap to everybody there as we ramble on. We started off with the under Ottawa, Detroit 7 minus 127, getting close to the buy point minus 130, minus 132. Ottawa. Don't think it's a 7-point total, and this is a plus money over point. It doesn't hurt it too much. Jake Sanderson over 0.5 points plus 130, promoted to PP1, getting 24 minutes a game. Kings, Nashville under 6 minus 115. 2 teams desperately need a win. Desperation means tight hockey, and teams are mailing it in anyway, so a little double entendre there. And then a guy who just wants to get to the break, a guy who might not want to be in that locker room for much longer. Pierre-Luc Dubois under 1.5 shots on goal plus 130. If you're doing the 1.5s and you're doing the under, might as well go for that 130 price. Let's leave it at that. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 1-0, 2-0, and 3-1 again today in the 3 games. Yesterday was awful, but let's try to hit that. As producer Nick slaps me in the butt and says, hey, please like and subscribe to the stream here, guys. Greatly appreciated if you listen there. Thank everybody there in the chat. As always, I'm Josh Ingles. He's Carlo Colaiacovo. This is NHL Puck Prop presented by Sports Interaction. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Ciao.